Today I'm going to show you how to use our sterling silver bezels that hold a 14mm either Rivoli or a blank or any stone that'll fit inside here. As you can see, these bezels have an open back, so with a Rivoli it's going to expose the backing of the Rivoli, which is really where it gets all its fantastic color. So you might want to cover that with jewelry shield or clear nail polish, or what you can do is put in a little piece of leather fabric. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now if you want to put a blank in here, on this we've used our 14mm 8-petal flower blank, and it comes in a bunch of different metals. This fits perfectly in here, you can just pop it in. This guy is 18 gauge, so it sits well, but you can also back it with a whole different blank if you wanted to stamp on the back or get a multi-tone metal look. But it's tough to do just a 24 gauge piece on its own because it's a little bit thin. You need it to bulk up and be a little thicker inside there. So you could double up with two 24 gauge pieces. This bezel here has flowers along the outside, so pretty. And sometimes when you receive it, the flowers may have bent in a teeny bit. So in order to get your crystal or stone or whatever to fit in there well, you might have to pull them out slightly. And you can do that with your fingers. And when I say slightly, I mean slightly, because if you pull out too far and bend them back, they might snap off. You can work hard in anything to snap it off, so let's be really gentle with that. But open them up just enough to slide the crystal in. So see how that fits perfectly? It's not wobbling around. It's a perfect fit. And there's the back. Now this backing rubbing against your chest will start to rub off. So like I said, you can coat it with nail polish or jewelry shield, or you can take a little piece of fabric, or in this case I've got some ultra suede, or you can use leather. You just don't want it to be too thick. And what I do here is I just take the bezel and I just trace the inside just because it was very easy to do that. And then I took the scissors and cut just about 1 millimeter outside of that. You could try to trim around or draw around your stone or draw around the outside of here and cut on the inside of the line. Whatever you do, you want to make sure that this piece fits very well inside the bezel, because I have some pen on there. I'm going to put that on the top. But if it's too small, it'll fall through. And if it's too big, it'll kind of bulk up the sides. So see that, watch when I put that in, and then my stone, look how nice and protected it is on the back and soft. So put that guy in like that. Actually, I've put him in the wrong one. I wanted to do the flower one. Let's switch that out. Again, you don't want to have your fabric or leather be too thick, otherwise it'll raise it up too much and the prongs will not go around the stone. Okay, so everybody's settled inside there. And now what you want to do is push these prongs down. It's best to push one down up here and then the opposite and then the opposite and opposite, like north, south, west, east, and then all the rest of them. Because if you start and you push them all in from one side, you might shift the stone over to the side and you won't be able to sort of shift it back. So a couple ways to push down the prongs. You can use a prong pusher where you just come in and lay this on the flower. I'm going to start with the east and then flip it around and go with the opposite. And I'm just sort of pushing it right on there. You're not going to get the flower to completely bend over, but you just want it to hold it nice and snug. And then we'll come down here and up here. So I'm kind of pushing on the flower and rocking it forward. So can you see those four that have pushed down? Let me see if I can get really close for you. It's in there nice and tight. It's not going to come out now, but we want to push all the rest of the flowers down as well. The other thing you can do is use some chain nose pliers, and I'm going to sort of brace the back on the back of the bezel and give it a tiny little squeeze. Tiny little squeeze. Now, without this protectant here, you could scratch the back of your bezel, so be really, really, or not bezel, but your Rivoli, be very careful. If you scratch it, you're going to lose some of that color. So I'm sort of just squeezing lightly. Let me show you what it looks like from the back. I try to brace right there and then push the petal down. Don't get back here, you'll scratch it. That make sense? Okay, so let me get all those guys down. I've already done my north, south, east, and west, so this guy's really nice snug in here. Also, this is a very light squeeze. You squeeze too hard and you could crack your Rivoli, and that will ruin your whole day. So let's just get them all down. I think we're in there now. So look at that. It's really, really secure, and it looks very finished and pretty. For this one, I've got an 18 gauge aluminum blank here. It's 14 millimeters, and it's flower shaped because that's what I just happen to have on hand, and it's perfect size. And I am just gonna pop it in here. Remember, if you need to pull the prongs open a teeny bit, you can, but it's best to not mess with them. There we go. Now it's in there nice and snug. I almost don't even need to push the prongs down because it's so snug. But let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna start at the very bottom, and very gently, just a little squish. Not worried about scratching because there's no coating to scratch off, and this is barely touching the metal anyway. Just bracing the back of my pliers. Okay, I've almost got them all down. Ooh. Then you've got it all nice and snug in there. You could also have stamped on the back of this since it's 18 gauge, but I just like the J on the front.